and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm Saieed Ali. Speaking at today's inaugural handing over parade of the Commissioners of Police, ongoing Acting Commissioner of Police, Junior Benjamin, he stated that serving as cop has been an honor and a dream come true, saying it was not easy but worth it. Benjamin said, fighting crime, building trust and morale in the TTPS was some of the challenges faced by the TTPS.
Serving as the Acting Commissioner of Police has been one of my greatest honor in my entire life. In fact, I would say it was a dream come true. The challenges we faced it together. The challenges we faced, there were many. Fighting crime, building community trust, building the morale of our officers, fighting the court cases, even modernizing our systems and working tirelessly to ensure safety and security of our nation during the SOE as well as even after the state of emergency. I want to say it wasn't easy, but it was worth it.
Now, viewers, he also stated that he was proud to pass the baton to incoming Alistair Guavero and has confidence that the TTPS will rise under his tenure.
Today, we turn a new page. Leadership is about continuity and vision. It is not about a person, but the mission. And so I am proud to pass this baton to Commissioner of Police Guavero, a leader of strength, wisdom, and commitment. I have every confidence that under his command, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service will rise to its greatest heights.
Now, viewers, in reading out the appointment to incoming Commissioner of Police, the Chairman of the Police Service Commission, DCP Wendell Wallace, said that Alistair promotion will be for probationary period of 1 and congratulated him on his appointment.
Mr. Alistair Guavero, Superintendent of Police. Dear Mr. Guavero, the Police Service Commission of Trinidad and Tobago has promoted you as Commissioner of Police of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service with effect from 18th June 2025. Your promotion is on 1 year's probation, and that's important. It's a period of transition. There are some contents here that I will not read, but to simply say, congratulations, yours sincerely, Dr. Wendell C. Wallace, Chairman, Police Service Commission of Trinidad and Tobago.
Now, viewers, newly appointed Commissioner Guavero also thanked God for the opportunity and call on TTPS officers to be role models. Speaking briefly on school violence, Alistair made a promise that if parents cannot control their children, the TTPS will confine them.
I have been looking on for the past couple of months and I've been seeing several acts of violence engaging the public and media attention about school violence and bullying. Under my watch, that will never happen. I want to make you a promise here today. If you cannot control your children, we, the TTPS, will confine them.
The only Commissioner of Police thus far who have said something like that is nobody. Nobody. So I want to thank this commissioner for making this bold statement today as he is appointed the Commissioner of Police for Trinidad and Tobago. He also called on all hands on deck, as this was not a time for Alistair Guevara, but for TTPS. I like how he said that. He took no praise, but it's for TTPS. Imagine that at Trinidad and Tobago, he's already making statements on his platform. But nevertheless, all of them is being sweet from the beginning, but we are not going to judge him. Like I said, we are not going to judge the UNC. We're going to give them 3-4 months in office, settle on themselves, do their research, do their checks and balance, do their reviews, and we're going to see what they're coming up with. So, same thing for Guevara. We welcome him as the Commissioner of Police for Trinidad and Tobago. Let's just hope that the words that he's uttering just don't fly by with the breeze. Let's hope. The People's National Movement, PNM, Tobago Council has received 32 nominations from individuals hoping to contest the upcoming Tobago House of Assembly THA election. The nomination process officially closed last Wednesday in all 15 electoral districts. The party had earlier opened nomination in 2 phases, closing at 8th district first and extending to June 12th in the remaining 7. Now that the nomination period has ended, nominees will face the internal screening process. District party groups will review candidates before advancing to the party screening committee, which will select the final slate to contest the election. The PNM said it intends to contest all 15 districts as part of its renewed focus on people-centered leadership and accountability. The next THA election is scheduled to be held by December this year. So Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to see what takes place. Moving into the news tonight now, that was just the updates. The United National Congress, UNC government, has supplemented the 2025 budget of $58.9 billion with a total of $3.14 billion more for 28 ministries and divisions. During his contribution, Finance Minister Dave Tanku said the $3.14 billion supplementation was due to the fiscal recklessness and a free-for-all undertaken by the former government. Tanku added that as a result, this led to a crash in the economy, and that a lot more will be said in the mid-year review on Wednesday.
May I indicate that we are now going to be looking at supplementation of $3.14 billion, and this is because of the fiscal financial recklessness and free-for-all undertaken by the former government, where they were spending money without planning and spending without making proper payment arrangements. As a result of that, we have had a crash of the economy. And thanks to us now being in government, we now have access to the information. A lot more will be presented in the mid-year review on Wednesday, when we'll be able to show how this former government crashed the economy and the effects that it would have had on ministries and on the population as a whole.
However, opposition PNM MP and former Finance Minister Clongin Burt said certain supplemental funding for the Parliament, including $13.7 million for the payment of salaries and areas stemming from the 120th Salary Review Commission, that's the SRC report, is for the back pay for UNC MPs of the previous Parliament. The Health Ministry received the highest supplemental funding, $7 to $8.5 billion. So Trinidad and Tobago, I'm going to read out some of the division receiving additional funding. So we have National Security Ministry, $13.9 million. TTPS, TNT Police Service, $119 million. $117,400. Public Utility Ministry, $489 million. $470,000. Education Ministry, $555 million. $106,000. Health Ministry, $728 million. $539,920. Labor Ministry, $55,668,400. Works and Transport Ministry, $325 million. $208,000, among many others. So viewers, as it comes to us, we're gonna bring it to you. Also, in the news, viewers, during the Standing Finance Committee meeting on Monday, Minister in the Ministry of the Office of the Prime Minister, Barry Patharat, revealed that the institution for the St. Mary's Children Home and Children Authority continues to be plagued by understaffing, insufficient resources, and under-budgeting. The board was debating the allocation increase for the Office of the Prime Minister, which currently stands at $128,004,038. $180. Trinidad and Tobago. The minister says the new government is continuing to repair the damage done by the former administration. Listen to this.
Mr. Chairman, in light of the supplementation, what is clear to all and sundry is that the former government crashed the economy. We are now seeing in hard concrete evidence of high levels of incompetence. And Mr. Chairman, I know we are not at the debate stage just as yet, but I can assure you from the information that is now available to us, having had it been hidden by the former administration, massive amounts of corruption has been unearthed and will be shared with the national population.
Massive amount of corruption have been unearthed and will be shared with the population. So Trinidad and Tobago, as it comes to us, we're going to give it to you. Now hear this. Now after a question was posed to the minister by MP for Diego Martin on whether or not both entities will remain under the Office of the Prime Minister or be redirected to another line ministry. This was the minister's response. Listen to this.
The Honourable Member came fully prepared to deal with today's Standing Finance Committee. The Honourable Member should have been in a position to say Office of the Prime Minister, sub-item 04, item 007 households. Seeing the member is not doing his homework when he was in the ministry as a minister, and now he as a member of Parliament. If he follows the proper procedure, we'll be able to answer those questions.
That was his response. Now, while former Prime Minister Stuart Young defended his colleague for posing such question, Mr. Patharat labeled it as disturbing.
I find it disgraceful and shameful that members opposite would ask these questions knowing that they stayed silent when the St. Mary's Children's Home and Children's Authority was under budgeted, because my colleagues on this side of the House can tell you that the member for Chaguanas East, the member for Sipari, and the member at that time was Princess Sound We raise these issues of the under-budgeting and under-resourcing of these critical institutions. So therefore, the members opposite should be telling us, why did you choose to under-resource and under-budget critical institutions like these?
So Trinidad and Tobago, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we return, Alexander hopes for a rollout of 3,000 body cams by year end. More when we return.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over, with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. So I just want to remind you, viewers, Real Talk Financing, remember, we are offering you 5% on our fixed deposit, viewers. With this fixed deposit, to tell you how this fixed deposit is so special to Trinidad and Tobago, you are getting 5% interest per year on your fixed deposit. And once you sign up an agreement with us for 5 years, you will be receiving your interest up front. So you don't have to wait 5 years or 10 years for your interest. You collect the interest up front between 7 to 14 days after you open your fixed deposit. Now I want you to understand this, Trinidad and Tobago. No other financial institution in this country is doing that. Do your checks, do your balance, call your banks, call your credit union, call whatever financial institution you want to call. We are the first to offer 5% and your interest up front. So you don't have to worry that when the 5 years over or the 10 years over, you're now going to collect your interest. That time you're 5 years older, you can't go for a vacation, you're sick, all sorts of things. You're getting your interest within 7 to 14 days of the date you open the fixed deposit account by Real Talk Financing. Remember that, viewers. The more money you invest is the more you're going to get. Let your money work for you. You have already worked for your money. You pay off, you back pay, you lump sum, you sell piece of land, you sell a house, you sell cars. Whatever it is you did, you have a lump sum, you want to invest it, and you want your money to work for you. Real Talk Financing, we are giving you 5%. You're getting your interest up front. You don't have to wait. Enjoy the benefit of your labor. We are doing that for you. It's only Real Talk Financing giving you that offer, you know. Anywhere else you go in Trinidad and Tobago, you have to wait until your maturity date. We doing things different. We're doing things different, Trinidad and Tobago. And everyone can see that. Everyone can see that. So, like I said, it is not going to be around for a long time. So take the opportunity now, viewers. Call the office, set up an appointment, meet with our staff. You can even contact me for more information. Office numbers on screen. Call Central Office 339-1670 or 238-6716, viewers. All the information, you will get it. Remember, we are leaders. We are the leaders in fixed deposit in Trinidad and Tobago. I could guarantee you that. I could guarantee you that. You know, some fixed deposit will pay quarterly, some will pay yearly, but it still wouldn't match up to the 5% that we are offering you. And the interest up front. Imagine if you invest $200,000. I'm just saying a figure, eh? You can invest any amount you want. Imagine if you invest $200,000. At the end of 5 years, that's $50,000. $50,000. And you're going to get this $50,000 within the first 7 to 14 days after you sign up your document. Imagine that, eh? So you already work hard for your cash. Are you going to leave it somewhere else where it is not working for you, where you have to wait until the maturity date to get your interest? No. I've been telling you, I have about 30 plus years in the finance industry. 30 plus years. I grew up in finance. So when I tell you, Real Talk Financing throw out something, we are the best. We are probably the best in the Caribbean. Interest up front. Imagine that, eh? Well, nevertheless, leaders will always lead. Once you are called to lead, you would lead. You would make our way. Others will just follow. So back into our news tonight. Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander has confirmed that approximately 3,000 body cameras have been requested for full deployment across law enforcement agency by year's end. He noted that as of now, 970 body cameras are in active use by members of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
The amount of body cams requested, 3,000. How much is presently working at this time? 970 body cams.
Okay, and your allocation is sufficient?
Say again?
Your allocation would be sufficient to meet the outstanding? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Now, viewers, Alexander was speaking during yesterday's Standing Finance Committee, where $119,117,400 was requested in additional funding for the TTPS. During question by the opposition leader, Penelope Beckles, it was revealed that 25 million had been allocated to Huawei's to full operationalize the body camera system. Call good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed. Great program as usual.
Thank you, my friend.
And I want to take this opportunity to wish the new Commissioner of Police all the best with his endeavors. But I also have information for him, and I want him to know that every crime in this country, murders, robberies, car thieving, house breaking, home invasion, is connected to the police service. And I want him to act on it. And unless you talk about that and you deal with that, nothing is going to happen in this country. And your first agenda, I want you to drive through Princestown don't put on blue lights, from the Princestown police station to Tablan. I want you to drive there on a Friday night and a Saturday night. I want you to deal with the Princestown police, this waste of time Princestown police. Every bar from Princestown to Rio Claro, a police officer is involved, either running it directly or they indirectly involved with the bar. And I want you to pay close attention to this. And these little things, Commissioner of Police, will go a long way in getting the citizen of this country to partner with the police and have trust in the police service. So we're looking forward to all of this. And to Homeland Security Minister, you could give the police service 3 million body camera. You are telling us how you're going to get rid of the criminal elements in the police service. We're waiting to hear that, up to this day. Homeland Security Minister, you are telling the citizens of this country one good word how you're going to deal with crime in this country, So we can hold you to task, we're giving you a little chance. Anyway, Mr. Saeed, God bless you, man, and shower of praises to you and your program for many citizens in this country. Keep up the great work you're doing, Mr. Saeed. God bless you and your staff.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, staying in Homeland. However, tension escalated as opposition member pressed for further clarity on the allocation. Now, tensions heightened further when Marvin Gonzalez inquired about the total contract cost. Alexander admitted he did not have that information at the time, but assured the committee that it will get done.
I want to assure the member for Aruka Lupino that it will get done,
Minister, I'm asking what is the total contract cost for this particular program?
Is this we don't have the information. We'll consider.
You do not
supplying it to you eventually.
So you are not aware of the total contract.
I'll get back to you soon.
I don't think that's a fair representation of what the minister said. Member, hang on a second, would you?
Ah, boy, Jack, they've acted now. It's nice to see we have somebody now who could actually stand up. Yeah? We're going to see how it goes with Jack Dew onwards. But nevertheless, whenever asked about the 25 million under the relevant line item was enough to settle the full contractual sum, Alexander responded, "For 10 years you were there and no question like this was asked." Oh, somebody got a real shot. Listen to this.
Mr. Chair, I'm asking the Honourable Minister to indicate whether the $25 million allocation under this line item is going to be sufficient to settle the outstanding contractual sum for this program.
MP, I'm sorry.
You can just say member. You can just say member.
Yeah, member. Member, for 10 years you all were there and no question like this was asked. So now I'm trying to understand.
The Chair.
I am trying to...
You see, see the honorable minister is being prompted by the honorable minister.
No,
he can't even answer the question. He doesn't even know the contract sum.
Please,
but he has
can we have
prompted
some
Mr.
order?
10 years.
Can we have some order? Can we have some order? The issue with that is that the honorable member for Arima asked the question. The question was answered, and you purported to ask the same question yet again.
When Marvin was there, the House Speaker would have gotten up. It is irrelevant, and I will not allow that question. I remember that. How many times Bridget Annisa George got up and said, that is an irrelevant question, and I will not allow that? How many times we heard those lines from Annisa George? How many times? Imagine Marvin ask one question again, and you come back and you ask the same thing again. So he looked for that. Nevertheless, we are going for a short commercial break. It's that time. But when we come back, anyhow, let me just close off this. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, among the additional funding, $2 million was earmarked for the police academy to cover medical expense, polygraph testing, stationary items, and other operational costs. Remember when some station didn't have printers functioning, they didn't have AC, computer wasn't working. All remember all these things? Good, nice. Well, if I forget, I hate to remind all you. Allocations were also made for the janitorial service, building rentals, and a $10 million for the maintenance and acquisitions for a fleet of vehicles. For the TTPS, a further $5 million was budgeted to provide food supplies for the guard and emergency branch and the interagency task force. Alexander said, funding is being requested to ensure the full rollout of body cameras with the goal of achieving complete operational status by year end. Well done, well done, well done. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we return, we're going to hear Young ask if government paying Auditor General legal fees when we return.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Welcome back.
So viewers, remember 5% is not going to last long. Come down to our office, set up an appointment, open a fixed deposit with our company viewers. Remember, as interest up front, $200,000, you're getting $50,000 in your hand in 7 to 14 days when you open a fixed deposit. Your interest in your hand, no longer waiting for 5 and 10 years. Remember that. In the news, opposition PNM MP and former Energy Minister and former Prime Minister Stuart Young has called on the government to clarify if the state is going to pay for reimbursement of the Auditor's General fees from the Privy Council matter against former Finance Minister Klongenbert. This after Minister of Finance Dave Tanku confirmed that $2 million in addition funding was allocated to the Auditor General Department as fees to meet the cost of reimbursement stemming from the judgment in favor of the Auditor General virus. Young noted that under fees, there was an increase of $2 million, and that was listed as pertaining to the Auditor General Privy Council appeal in the matter 2024, but the former Finance Minister, Imbud. Young sought particulars to understand how it came up to $2 million. Listen to this, we go talk after.
The Honorable Minister of Finance, I see here under fees an increase of $2 million. And I see in the notes that that is with respect to the Privy Council appeal of the Auditor General versus the Minister of Finance. Is it that, well, first of all, would you be able to provide us with particulars of how that $2 million is made up?
It is ironic, Mr. Chair, that question is coming from the member for Police North St. Anne's West, especially considering that it is with specific regard to the legal matter as per the Privy Council appeal number 0057 of 2024, Auditor General versus the then Minister of Finance.
Correct, which is what I just said, but I'm asking for particulars of the fees, because if it is that this is the payment of fees from that matter, should those fees not be paid from the Office of the Attorney General? How are those fees now being paid out of the Auditor General? That's the first question. And then secondly, I would like, please, if possible, a breakdown of the particulars to understand how it comes up to $2 million.
Imagine a man like Stuart Young asking that question. Stuart Young asking that question. How much did it cost the government or taxpayers when Clongenbert sent the matter to the Privy Council in London? We didn't hear. Stuart Young never came out and gave Trinidad and Tobago that figures on how much taxpayers' money was spent. Clongenbert didn't come out and tell Trinidad and Tobago how much it cost the state or how much it cost taxpayers to carry this matter to the Privy Council. Only for Lady Simala to say, how come the finance minister, Clongenbert, wasn't investigated? Why Stuart Young didn't come out and tell Trinidad and Tobago how much it cost us? Why he didn't do that when he was in position to tell Trinidad and Tobago how much it costs? But today he is asking if the government is going to pay the $2 million. Imagine that, eh? Imagine that. The Auditor General, who's supposed to audit the government on how they spend taxpayers' money, because of the foolishness that were caused, because of that foolishness, they end up in the Privy Council. So, Stuart Young, why don't you tell Trinidad and Tobago how much it cost to carry the matter to the Privy Council and to pay the lawyers that you all selected to go to London? Why didn't you give Trinidad and Tobago that figure? Young asked if the $2 million was payment or fees or payment of the cost as costs that would have been awarded for the action should be paid by the Attorney General Office. Tanko said, explanatory notes to the allocation stated the $2 million was fees to meet the cost of reimbursement stemming from the judgment in favor of the Attorney General versus the former minister. Young added that it is not usual for the state to pay for reimbursement of fees in that matter. Tanko replied, asked and answered. Listen to this.
So 02001-23, fees, $2 million, to meet the cost of reimbursement stemming from a judgment in favor of the Auditor General, as per the Privy Council Appeal number 0057 of 2024, Auditor General versus Minister of Finance. So I think that is self-explanatory.
Thank you very much, my Honorable Minister of Finance, but you are perhaps not understanding the question I'm asking. It is not usual for the state to pay for reimbursement of fees in that manner. If fees are incurred, first of all, there should have been, and that is for the Auditor General to pay, there should have been an agreement by the Attorney General at the time. My recollection, and I think it's on record in public, is the Honorable Attorney General at the time had refused to pay the fees of the Auditor General. So therefore, it was incumbent on the individual to cover the fees. So is it now that the state is paying the fees of the individual? And that would be quite improper. So I'm asking, I asked before for breakdown of the particulars. I can understand if it's an award of costs as a result of being successful in litigation. That is something that is very separate to the payment by the state of an individual's fees, and you tell me you're reimbursing an individual's fees. That is quite improper. So I'm just seeking clarification.
So Trinidad and Tobago would like to know also, Mr. Stuart Young, how much did it cost the state to carry this matter to the Privy Council? How much did it cost the state? I would like to know that. Because of the foolishness that took place. How much? It's sad he can't answer that. It's really sad. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back from this break, Education Ministry received 455 million additional allocation when we return.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Welcome back.
Despite being allocated $7.512 billion in the P&M government final budget on September 30th, 2024, Minister of Education Dr. Michael Dowlett has asked the Standing Finance Committee to approve a supplemental allocation of $555,106,000. This request, he said, reflected on the government's commitment to addressing urgent financial requirements across the education sector. He said the requested allocation was linked to the shortfall inherited from the P&M government accumulated over the years of neglect. Listen to this.
Under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, our government's vision for education is clear, comprehensive, and fully integrated into our National Development Plan. The allocations being sought today are directly linked to critical shortfalls inherited as a result of long-standing vacancies, unaddressed financial obligations, and operational deficits which accumulated over years of neglect.
Daulat said an allocation of $296,106,000 will be for recruitment. My mistake. For recurrent expenditure, which will allow government to stabilize staffing through salary payment and to sustain 20,000 vulnerable students through book grant. He said the supplemental allocation will also settle long outstanding arrears to staff and essential service. Port of Spain North St. Anne's West MP Stuart Young asked what formula will be used to assign the school supplies and book grant for which 20 million had been allocated. Daulat said that in 2025, there were 28,844 applicants for this grant. Listen.
In 2025, there were 28,844 applicants, and the categories included persons in public assistance, unemployed persons, persons with disabilities, and this is talking about the parents whose children will qualify, persons earning less than 5,000, and persons earning between 5,000 and 7,499.
So you're going to apply that same formula going forward for this 20 million?
You would remember that the application started in December 2024 and closed on 24 January 2025.
After some crosstalk, Finance Minister Dave Tanku interjected by saying that the same mechanism and means test that was introduced in fiscal 2024 by the then Minister of Finance, Claudian Burt, will be adopted. Now, he noted that the reason there is no allocation in 2025 is that not a cent was put forward by the Finance Minister. Listen to this now.
Allocation. What is being adopted now is the same mechanism of a means test that was introduced when this item was first introduced in fiscal 2024 by then Minister of Finance. The reason there is no allocation in 2025 is that although the Minister of Finance announced it in 2025 again, not a cent was put forward for it. So now it falls onto this government to ensure that citizens are provided, children are provided with this book grant.
Thank you very much, Minister of Finance. So the answer to my specific question is yes, the same formula will be utilized, the same means test.
The same means test to correct the fact that no allocation was made
by the
government.
That's obvious from the document that says zero.
Yes, your Minister of Finance failed to make a commitment, it failed to provide financing for a commitment he made in the budget.
Sad, eh? So when you all thought a good was coming out from Education Ministry under the past administration, you heard it for yourself now that even though they made a promise to you for the book grants, no money was allocated. None. So how, I'm going to say this now. So how does the P&M parents now are using this term because Gatsby Dolly said it is the P&M children that fighting. Good? And it's the P&M children that they have to look for and care for now. So now I am saying now to the P&M parents now, how do you feel now that no money was allocated under the PNM government for a bug grant that you all were promised. How do you feel now that our finance minister, who all you so loved, Clongenbert, always bringing out some legislation and amendment to make all you pay money? How do you all feel now that no money was allocated for book grants for the PNM children? How will you feel now? Now keep in mind, I am not affiliated with PNM, I am not affiliated with UNC. I fund a program by myself to open your eyes, to get the road fixed where all your car running on, mine as well, to make sure the schools is in order for all your children to go to, mine as well. So how do you all feel now that no money was allocated? The Ministry of Education got nothing. No money for PNM children to buy school books. How you all feeling now? Like I said, I use this term PNM parents because of the fact that Gatsby Dolly said it's PNM children. That is why I use it. I gave you the reason why I use it. So how you all feeling? Happy? I hope so. Because I wasn't getting nada, zero, zilch, even though they had a means test. No money was allocated. It's sad. The truth is coming out now. The truth is coming out now. Boy. Nevertheless, Paria Fuel Trading Company Limited has revealed it paid over $8.4 million in legal fees for representation at the Commission of Inquiries into the 2022 diving tragedy, but continue to withhold the exact fees paid to each lawyer involved. Imagine that, eh? Imagine that, $8.4 million in legal fees. And how much one family got? Oh, let's say something now. Say something. How much one family got? Assumed $1 million. Yet to be paid. Yet to be paid. But Paria paid $8.4 million in legal fees. How are you feeling now? Happy? It's sad. It's sad. Boy. Trinidad and Tobago, can you believe this? Switching gears a bit, viewers. Finance Minister Devendra Tanku says the investigation into the substantial foreign exchange payment made to Jamaican dancehall artist Vybz Kartel remains ongoing and active. Controversy erupted earlier this month when Kartel, along with several other artists, withdrew from the on May 31st One Caribbean Music Festival at the Queen's Park, Savannah, citing unresolved contractual issue. Listen to this. So now, viewers, Tanku previously stated that he was intrigued by the amount of foreign exchange being mentioned in relation to payment fees for artists involved in order and, boy. Speaking outside Parliament, the Finance Minister said the investigation was continuing. Nevertheless, viewers,
the Ministry of Finance is working very closely with the police service with regards to that investigation.
Trinidad and Tobago, we have reached the end of our program tonight. But nevertheless, The more news break in Trinidad and Tobago, viewers, the more we're going to keep you updated every night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Again, as I remind you, viewers, 5% may not be around much longer, but make your fixed deposit now. Until we meet again, good night.